Hi, I'm Jackie Hirsch, a therapist here at Worcester Youth and Family Counseling Services. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about the stages of grief. Now, before we talk about what the stages are, let's define what grief is. And grief is an emotion, an emotional reaction we have to a loss. Now, a loss, often when we say that, we think grief, the loss of a loved one, friend, someone we care about passing away. However, we can also feel grief when we lose other things, relationships, jobs, loss of normalcy, all things that we've been experiencing quite often in this past year. So today we're going to talk about the stages of grief. So there's different models of grief, this is being one of them. And this has 5 different stages of grief, shown by these faces. So we'll start at this one. This is the first stage. This first stage, that's smiling, kind of half smile, and that stage is denial. That stage of grief might be not believing it. This can't be happening. Statements like that might be common at this point. Not feeling like it's real yet. After denial, we move to our next stage. Here, and that's anger. Why is this happening to me? This is so unfair. We might be really angry about what happened and how we are feeling about it. The next phase, he's bargaining. That would be the state he's in. Bargaining. That would be, I'll do anything to change this. How can I make it better? How can I bring this thing back? That is that phase. After, we get over here. And that is the stage of depression. Sadness, thinking, what's the point of going on? I'm so sad, I can't adjust. It's just too much. It's too sad. And the last one is acceptance. That looks like it's going to be okay. Now, as you see in that face on the end, he's not necessarily smiling, but he's not super upset either. So it's knowing that we're going to be okay and we're going to be able to find a new normal after we go through our feelings. And now, how I kind of talked about it as stages in order makes us think that we might go through them in a certain way. Like if we were to say here to this one. Next, right on to bargaining, depression, and acceptance. But it's not always like that. Sometimes we may skip one or go from bargaining to anger and then to depression. So these are not a concrete first, second, and third, and so on stages, but more of an outline, an understanding of emotions that you may experience during your time of grief and what you'll go through. There are times where you may not even hit one of these stages, and that's totally okay. Everyone's experiences are different, but understanding what grief is and how it affects us is really helpful in giving ourselves the space to cope and to be compassionate to ourselves during that difficult time. And that's really important, as grief is really difficult and we can't be hard on ourselves during it. So I hope learning a little more about grief will help you.